the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ. In Surah Al-Bayyinah, He says, they were not commanded except but to worship God sincerely. When I translate that to you, you don't taste the depth of the emphasis on the sincerity. But if I go from a linguistic analysis, the word that Allah used for worship is ya'buduna, which is a verb. And then the word He uses for sincerely is mukhlisina, which is a noun. We know that verbs are linked to time. Like I did something in the past, I am doing it now, I will do it in the future. They're all linked to time. He worshipped yesterday, he is worshiping now, he will worship tomorrow. All of these are linked to time. But we know that a noun is not linked to time. It's like a permanent state of being, like a mosque. A mosque is not linked to time. It's a mosque. It's just what it is, right? It's not a mosque yesterday and then it stops being a mosque today. So this verse, Allah says, ya'budu, right? With a verb, the worship with a verb, and then the word for sincerity, mukhlisin, a noun. So if you want to linguistically taste this, it's as if we're told, yes, you can worship from time to time. We know that Allah doesn't demand us for us to worship at all time. But there is no excuse for not being sincere at any time. It's a permanent requirement of every single act of worship that it must be just for Allah. Because if it's not for Allah, then Allah returns it back to you. Allah is aghna shuraka. He is free of need of anything that you associate with Him. If you just read the translation, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ, you totally lose the emphasis on the sincerity. But with a little dive into the language, you realize, wow, mukhlisin, Allah requires sincerity at all times. No excuse for not being sincere. Yes, you might worship from time to time, but the sincerity has to be a part of it, which is why Ibn Atta'illah al-Iskandari said, actions are lifeless forms, but it's the secret of the sincerity in those actions that brings life to those actions. So may Allah make us people who truly understand this and taste this and are completely sincere. That is, sincere, Shaykh Ibrahim Niyas said, al-ikhlasu ikhraju siwa min mu'amalat al-haqq. Sincerity is the removal of all otherness from the actions to do with Allah, to do with al-haqq. And then he said, وَنَفْسُكَ siwa, and even your own self is an otherness. Even your own self that the action is coming out of, you remove it from actions when it comes to Allah. So may Allah make us truly sincere people, because Allah said, mukhlisin, as completely sincere people. Yes, we may worship from time to time, but sincerity is non-negotiable. May Allah make us people of sincerity. May Allah make us people whose sincerity is accepted by Him. Assalamu alaikum.